Hey guys, so happy whatever day it is, Wednesday, right? I wanted to share this message and a little bit of training um, after reading in my personal development book. But I thought that this chapter was really beneficial to anyone who is setting goals, creating goals, and really needing some accountability in order to reach them. So I'm terming this video as Let's Get Goaling Using Smart Goals, right? Um, so I'm going to be reading because I've got some notes here, but I want you to remember that whatever it is that your goal is, there's always a step one, and you may not have all of the tools right now, and you may not be able to just jump right into it. There are steps that you still need to take in order to set yourself up before you start doing day one or step one. But initially, I really want you to remember is that a goal is not saying it, it's the action, it's the doing. So no more like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to, get on that program, or I've been meaning to email you and, learn more about Shakeology. No more talking, no more saying. It's the action. The goal is an action step of what you're trying to do, what you want. Um, so you have to set your goals in a way that ensures your success. So if that means, you don't know where to begin, then you need to ask for help. If that means that you only have an hour, maybe after you drop your kids off, from school, in between all of the other responsibilities you have to do, then that's when you use it. If you've got 30 minutes sitting in the carpool, line, then that's where you're going to use your time. Your goals need to be tailored to your gift and your skill set as well as your lifestyle. So I don't expect someone who, is maybe 40 and above, who's married, has older kids, or taking care of grandkids or whatever, to be able to have the same time and skill set as somebody who's, maybe in their 20s and single. So you need to create the goals for you, but also don't waste your time dwelling on how someone else did what they did, or reached their goals or made their goal a reality. So say, if you're a coach listening to this, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this business, it doesn't matter how long you have been working on building your team. Other people don't matter. What matters is your team and what you are doing. So it doesn't matter how quickly someone has gone up the ranks or how steady and consistent someone else might be, and maybe they're just taking a little bit longer to go up the ranks. And whatever pace and whatever way you are doing in order to reach your personal goals, that's all that matters. So I just want to remind you of that, because I know a lot of times we may start in a business and we see other people reaching their goals or succeeding or hitting those promotions or those rank advancements, and then we start those negative thoughts, those that little devil starts making, questioning, well, how come I'm not doing that, or how come I'm not there, or I want to be there. And then really it just derails us from actually doing the actions that we had set in place in order to get to our personal goals. So in order to do that, and I'm taking this an acronym called SMART goals from when I was teaching. It was very specific on how we were to write our lesson plans, but this really can translate into any profession and any lifestyle of following the SMART goals. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, and time sensitive. So SMART, right? So making your goals very specific, right, and I have all of my coaches and my leaders underneath me do this every year, and then even every month, and then they break that down into every week. Meaning they're not just random ideas that are floating around. You've got to have well-defined and crystal clear goals. So you're creating your goals for your ultimate summit, your dream that you have in mind, right? So for me, if I look on mine, I've got, you know, what is it? Pay off all my debt. Right? And so I'm not going to tell you the number because that's personal, but there is a specific number that's up there. Define your measures. So is it measurable? Meaning now that you've figured out your goal and you have brought it to reality because you're stating it out loud, you're writing it down, putting it on a board so you can see it all the time. How are you going to measure that success if you actually reached it? So you need to have a timeline. In 6 months, I will have paid off this much money. Or say you want to be, a fitness instructor. So in such and such time, I will have gotten this certification that was necessary. Or I'll increase, my team volume by such and such percent. So within like the next 2 months, it has to be very specific, giving you a time. You have to have a number. That's the important part. So it needs to have real dates, real times, amounts, something that you can quantify your goals. Then we're going to aim, and it needs to be attainable. So we're going to aim for what we think we can reach, and then we're just going to add a little bit. Okay? So for me, I did End Summit in July when we were in Nashville. We all had to talk about what rank we were going to be in a year's time. So I said 5-star. Now, that's a little bit higher than I was a little bit comfortable with at the moment, but I know it's attainable. If I wanted to be comfortable, I would say 3 or 4-star. So I just bumped it up by adding one more. And the reason why you do that is like, if you're in the process of, trying to get people to believe in you and to follow you and to be your lifers, then you have to take it up to the next level. You have to set up a conversation as if you were that big person, you were that professional. Of course, my kid comes and bounces on me. So you need to be able to knock that person's socks off. And by doing that is you've got to have a little bit, to be a little bit uncomfortable. You have to have a little bit to, lose. If you have nothing to lose and it's too safe, then you probably either are going to just barely make it or you're just going to make it. And that's it. And we don't want that. We always want to be pushing higher. So then the next one is get real and relevant, right? Sorry. Thank you. Get real and relevant. So now I'm trying to figure out how to balance this because he took my thing away. Oh, okay. My stand. Here we go. Getting back to it. Real and relevant. And now my lighting is horrible. Where was I? So making your goals relevant to the finish line. So you're committed to launching your ideas. I don't know why it's not. There we go. And so whether that's social media, don't waste time posting, things that are not relevant to what your goal is or to what your business is. And getting your priorities straight, staying focused. Don't, Facebook scroll and waste all that time. Or focusing on Instagram when you don't have a large following or you don't understand it. And the last one is time. So tailoring your time. Your goals have to have a deadline. And they need to not be solely focused on like a dollar amount or anything. That's what you'd already done as far as being measurable. But you do need to have an end date. So your measurable was sort of like slow little chunks that in 6 months you're going to have this little piece. By this 3 months you're going to have this little piece. But the time is the overall time you're giving yourself in order to actually 100% master and or achieve that goal. So that is how we're going to be doing SMART goals. And of course he's trying to put a hammer into his head on me. And that's pretty much it. I've lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. But I definitely want everyone to just be able to remember that it's specific goals, that they are measurable, they are attainable. I don't know why I can't remember my R. Oh, that they are relevant and real. So, and then we have a specific timeline or time frame at the end to be able to completely have mastered and achieved those goals. So go ahead, take some time, think about, really maybe your top 3 goals that you have that you want to be able to achieve in a year, and write down SMART, the specific goal, how you're going to measure it, your attainable reach, and make it a little bit higher, and then the relevancy, as well as then the time frame in the end. And so that should be 12 months, where you need to be in 12 months. So hopefully that was helpful to you. It just helps to rein us back and stop comparing ourselves to each other, because then that just sort of breeds a negative mindset. And it's not a competition. We're all here to empower one another, to help build each other, to help build each other's business as well as our mindset. And so I just wanted to emphasize that, in case you're starting to get a little frustrated or getting in a funk, or starting to see other people rank advance and whatnot, that it's okay. It's natural to feel that way, but let's rein it back and let's just really focus on ourselves, what our specific goals are, because you don't know what that person's goal is, and you don't know what it is that they have done and sacrificed. Now, if you want to know more how they did it, then absolutely reach out. Ask people, ask them, because maybe they're doing something that you never thought to do. So, and then that's why you can't compare one another. You can't, judge a book by its cover. You have no idea the struggle that was going on behind the scenes. You have no idea the hard work that it took. So you need to ask, you need to be more open to learning and giving yourself grace and not comparing. So hopefully this was useful. I was able to wrap it up since it got a little confusing with my kiddo in the way, and have a fantastic day. Bye.